operations with mixed numbers. So we need to be able to add, subtract, multiply, and divide fractions showing working, and that includes with mixed numbers. Now, sometimes with mixed numbers, we can get away with treating the whole number and the fractions separately, but it takes a little bit of thinking to work out when we can do that. And so it's often best to simply, as a rule, always convert your mixed numbers to improper fractions at the start and then work from there. So the safest rule is convert to improper fractions first. You absolutely always have to convert when you're multiplying and dividing. There's no other way to do it. Adding and subtracting, you could get clever if you wanted and not convert, because you will see here that we could do 3 plus 1 is 4, and then just add 1/3 and 1/4. So that would work. Here, however, we could do 2 minus 4 is -2, but then when we try to do 1/4 minus 1/2, we're going to get into trouble. We'd have to borrow from one of our whole numbers. It would get tricky. We're better off just going with converting to improper fractions. So let's do that. This fraction is out of 3. This is a really obvious one to just go, look, 3 plus 1 is 4. And we've got a third plus a half. Sorry, a third plus a quarter. We'll have to make those out of 12. So that will be 4 out of 12 plus 3 out of 12. So I've got 4 and 7/12. The reason I sort of thought, look, I really don't want to go converting these first is because 3 lots of 3, this would be 10 over 3. I'd have to do very large numbers multiplied to get my denominators here. It wouldn't be friendly. So that way, easiest to just treat them two as separately. If I'd come up with, say, 13 over 12 here, though, then I'd have to make sure I simplified that and added something there. Here, it's going to be much easier to convert. So this fraction's out of 4. If I had 2 wholes cut into quarters, that would be 2 times 4 is 8 pieces. So plus that quarter, that's 9 quarters. Take away, oh look, that's another 8 pieces there, 9 over 2. Obviously, these need to be common denominators. We can use the lowest common multiple of 4. So that will be 9 over 4 minus, multiply the top and the bottom by 2, 18 over 4. 9 minus 18 is, of course, -9. I've got -9 over 4. The convention in maths is you should probably give your answer in the same form as the question was. If I needed to still use this fraction for anything, I'd probably leave it as an improper fraction because they're easier to deal with. But if I was getting to my end answer, I'd look at this and say, well, hey, this was a mixed number. I'd probably better give this as a mixed number. So that's negative 2 lots of 4 and a remainder of 1/4. Multiplying, absolutely always change to improper fractions first. So 1 lot of 9 plus that 1, I've got 10 over 9 times 5 over 2. Multiplying fractions is just multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. There is a trick you can do when you're multiplying fractions, and that is to cancel common factors first. Because remember, this is the same as 10 times 5 over 9 times 2, and we can cancel any common factors on top and bottom. And 2 is a factor of 10. So I could cancel out the 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And divide 10 by 2 to get 5. Sorry, that might be a little bit hard to read those there. I'll just put those in darker. And that would give me 5 times 5 is 25, 9 times 1 is 9. It saves me simplifying back later because I would have just, if I'd just done the normal multiplication, I would have got 50 over 18, and then I would have had to divide that by 2 on top and bottom anyway. And again, mixed numbers in the question, mixed numbers in the answer. 9 goes into 25 twice, 18, leaving me 7 over 9 remainder. And our last one, division, definitely convert to improper fractions first. 1 times 3 is 3, plus that 1, I've got 4/3, divided by 1/4. Second step of division, take the reciprocal of the second fraction, or the fraction I'm dividing by, and change to a multiplication. Absolutely do not try cancelling while it's still a division. You can check for cancelling options while it's a multiplication, but you can see that looks like I could have cancelled, but once I've changed it to a multiplication, I see that I can't. So I've got 4 times 4 is 16 over 3, because that was 3 times 1 is 3, and change back to a mixed number, and that's 5 lots of 3 and a remainder of 1/3. Notice how when I divide by a fraction that's less than 1, that's the same as multiplying by a number that's more than 1, so I get a bigger number than I started with.